ask again, did they stumble so as to fall beyond recovery? Not at all, rather because of their transgression salvation has come to the Gentiles, to make Israel envious. But if their transgression means riches for the world, and loss means riches for the Gentiles, how much greater riches will their full inclusion bring? I am talking to you Gentiles, in as much as I am the apostle to the Gentiles. I take pride in my ministry, in hope that I may somehow arouse your own people to envy and save some of them. That most of us think that because we are human, that we must be superior to everything else. And is that really true? Is when God created everything, the question becomes, did he create us so that we could be arrogant and find ourselves superior to everything? Or did he create us so that we should love and be attentive to everything else around us? So many times you hear people say, well, I'm superior because I am this, or I am that. I am righteous because I am this or I am that. That bigotry becomes a big part of how we do things, and some of that bigotry may be because we're afraid that we're not doing what we're supposed to do to begin with. And we're not following the message as we should. When the message is clear that we should love everything around us and love it with all of our heart. We should give compassion to everything that is around us and not just to those things that we think are worthy of God's love. Because when we don't, there is no dividing line. It's like, I hear people say this all the time. Well, if I eliminate that, where do I stop? And that's the whole point. There is no stop point. The stop point is everything is inclusive. It doesn't matter, and everyone is inclusive. Every being is inclusive. And we have to cherish every life that was created. We can't eliminate one life for another. When we learn that, because this one being, well, it's different than I am, how could it think like me? Therefore, it must be less worthy. Then you could be excluding yourself. God's message has always been totally inclusive, even right on down to how he says that we're made in the image and likeness of God. That means that everything around us is made in that image and likeness, and everything should be cherished as he sees it. During this time where we're seeing a microbe run rampant through our society, taking what is now seen as hundreds of thousands of lives and infecting millions more. It should be delivering a message to us also. And that message is how we should cherish life. I hear people say this all the time, and in some respects may be true, but in a lot of respects, not so true. Life isn't fleeting, life is eternal. When we learn to cherish all life, we understand that life is not so fleeting, and how eternal and infinite it truly can be. When I used to be in the sciences. I would look into a microscope and I would look at life growing there. And then at the same time, because I love looking out at the stars, when I turned a telescope out to the stars, I knew that somehow that the God that created me, created everything else out there. So there was more. There was more life. There was more energy that he created. There was so much more than my mind could ever conceive. We have to submit ourselves to the fact that we can't conceive it at all. We have symbolisms for for infinity. We have symbolisms for nothing, but we can't conceive that. There's only one who can conceive that, and that is God, the one who created us. So remember that when we see all of the olive branches scattered along the ground, because maybe they've fallen away because of faith, that we have to believe that the root that grew us all will take care of the rest of those branches and bring them back to the one salvation that there is. So, let us pray. God, during this time that I reflect on things that Holy Spirit